All right, guys. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, boys and girls of all ages. I think we are live. I think we're live. Got the mic working, cameras working. Let's see who's in the chat. Let's see. Brad Fletcher, what's up, man? Anything AK is always good. I don't know about anything, but they're growing on me quite a bit. Super Geo Killer, nice. Randy Adams, what's up, my brother? Jesus, what's going on, buddy? Dale, hope you're staying out of trouble, Dale. Let's see who else is in here. Super Geo Killer. That's a cool name, man. So this gentleman has been on the live a couple times before, and he has an event coming up called Clash Bash 2022. And I'm going. It's my first time. I have no idea what this event is. All I know is everybody I've met in the AK world says you have to attend it. So why not? I'm just hoping they have good food trucks. And that's actually the most important question. How's the food going to be? Because that's really the most important thing. So without further ado, let's welcome Clay to the channel. What's up, buddy? Uh-oh, your mic's off.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Dude, not much. Just wanted to say thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Everyone in the chat appreciates it. If you have any AK questions, AK specific questions, please ask in the chat and I'll try and get to them. I see Misty just kicked in. Oh, man. Mike McClune. Man, you guys are killing it. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. So let's just get right into it, Clay. Clash Bash. When is it? What time is it? What day? How do I go? I bought a ticket. I'm not a non-compete ticket. So what is it all about?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me back for the three-peat. Clash Bash, in a nutshell, it happens in Texas, a little town called Eagle Lake. It's about an hour northwest of Houston. And what it is, it happens October 8th and 9th. It's really a 3-day event. So on the 7th, we do have a few things going on. But basically, from Friday to Sunday, we have gathered 30 to 40 of some of the biggest names in the AK world as far as vendors. We have them all set up on from everything from live demo bays where they shoot guns. We have machine guns. We have vendors. They're selling products, some big names in the world, just to name a few. You know, if you're into AKs, the Krebs Customs, the Palmetto State Armories, KUSAs, the Sentries, and everyone in between, all the small guys too. A lot of JMAC Customs, a lot of people that are making big waves in the AK world travel across the country to come see you guys, to display product, unveil new stuff for AKs. The whole event is based around what is the hotness currently in the AK world. We have everything from people coming out selling surplus, which is very hot in the AK world, just old school, classic surplus stuff, to brand new hot AK stuff that we have some hybrids coming out this year that I really don't want to give away. Suppressors, optics, everything in between. And in the background, which we're sold out on this part of the event, we have a 8-stage competition going on with 250 competitors. It is one of the largest matches in the country, let alone an AK match, and that's put on by Dissident Arms. They are some of the biggest names in the competitive AK scene, and they're the guys that we bring on board to do our match. So unfortunately, I hate to build it up too much because it's sold out. But the ticket that you bought, the general admission ticket, that gets you in our campsite with a DJ with a full rave going on Saturday night. We have AGM Global displaying thermal and night vision at the campsite this year with some shootable things with nods on, some airsoft shootable things. It's going to be super cool. We've never done that before. Big bonfire. The campsite is a huge party. We still have some tickets for that too, about 300 campers. It's insane. During our 2 days, you will have access to 30 or 40 vendors, machine guns, live fire demos, all of that. So anything that is cool with the AK community, anything that's happening, it's all there. You can spend money, you can eat. We have 4 to 5 food trucks, some real gourmet stuff. So the food is good. I know you mentioned that earlier.
All right. Okay. Now that that's out of the way.
Yeah. You can sleep on site. You literally don't have, if you buy a camping pass, you can arrive Friday and you don't have to leave. We have showers on site, climate controlled bathrooms, anything anyone would need where you can literally live in this AK experience for 3 days. It's basically Burning Man mixed with AKs is the best way to describe it.
Nice. And then, so Friday is just competition only.
Friday, we have the early match. So depending on the ticket that you bought, you could buy the Friday pass, which allows you to shoot all 8 stages on Friday. And in the background, we're actually building all the booths. Vendors are arriving, setting everything up. If you're camping, you can show up Friday and just party at the campsite all day, do whatever you want. Saturday and Sunday is when everything really goes live. And the Saturday, Sunday competitors, they're coming and going, which is 250 people. We have another 750 attendees, which we still have very, very few tickets left, mingling all day long with 8 different stages with 40 different vendors, all with stuff for sale and stuff to try out and demo.
Man, I can't wait. Like, you know, it's funny because I see the Century guys at all the events. I see the PSA guys, but it's always fun to see them all in one spot and kind of hang out and look at all the new stuff. You said Kalashnikov USA is going to be there too, right?
They should be, yeah. They're sponsoring, so they'll have prizes and stuff on the table.
Yeah. Are they ever going to release these 5.56 AKs we've been hearing about? Are they out yet?
I don't know. I would definitely keep bugging them about it. I know PSA, if they haven't already, you know, I remember at NRA, PSA was talking about their 5.56 AKs.
I think PSA has theirs out.
Okay. The KUSA, the K101, I don't know yet. I haven't heard anything. I'm supposed to get one for demo as soon as they come out, so I'm assuming that means they're not even close to being available yet.
Yeah, but it's you asked, and I like talking to those guys, but they will not give you an ETA. Like, you can make it. There's one on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just keep making the same one that's on the wall? No. When's it coming out? End of this year. What, like January of next year? I don't know. End of this year, sometime.
I think they're afraid of over committing and under delivering by giving dates away. I think that's why they're so hush hush about it.
Call it the PS5 effect.
Yep.
Man, yeah. I still haven't got a PlayStation 5. It's killing me. All right, so we do have a question from the chat. Dustin Witt wants to know, what kind of gun do you carry? What kind of handgun? Do you EDC?
Yes. I carry a Glock 43. That's my daily. I don't notice it too much. It's got enough ammo. If anything were to ever happen, I feel comfortable with, you know, having about 7 to 8 rounds of hollow point. It's a Glock. I don't modify it whatsoever. It's bone stock. I just use a +2 mag extension.
Mm-hmm.
And I do a lot of long distance driving. So, you know, stuff that's clipped to my belt, it digs. And my day job, I cannot print. Like, it is a very big deal that I do not print. It's a big no-no for me to carry at my day job. So I try to stay as minimal as possible.
Yeah, I just leave mine in my truck. Most of it. That's why I use a sticky holster, because it just goes in and out of the waistband so easy. So people give me a lot of grief about my sticky holsters, but whatever. They don't know. They don't know. Mm-hmm. So has that always been your carry gun, the 43?
Man, I've just had it for years. I've never really. I know that's one thing I've never really sunk my teeth into. I know there are some people that they eat, sleep, and breathe. What is the new hot carry gun out right now? Like 365, is Springfield XD. Like, what is it? Man, I kind of bought my 43 years ago and just sort of stuck with it and haven't really tried much else. It's just always been good. I'll shoot it like once every 6 months just to make sure it shoots with lint, because it gets super linty. It's got some rust on the side. It always goes bang. So I really have had no reason to switch up.
Right. Gort in the chat says KUSA had their 5.56 AK at SHOT Show. Yes, they did. Or maybe it wasn't. Who knows?
Yeah, I filmed it. I spent a lot of time with that gun. From what they said at SHOT Show, you know, they were looking at the fourth quarter of the year. So we're still there. You know, they got a few more months. Maybe we'll see it.
Oh, man, this is a question right up your alley. My buddy who just moved here to Houston, he wants to convert his Saga. I guess it's kind of half converted, and he wants to do like a full conversion.
Yep. I know.
Do you know where he can go to get that done?
I'm assuming he doesn't want to mail it. So 2 Gunsmith.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, if he's in Houston, he has options where he doesn't have to mail it. We use Iron Curtain Customs a lot in Houston. These guys know their way around an AK. A Saiga conversion would be like a light snack for them, and they would do a good job. These are the guys that are building milled receiver Galils, PKMs. They build MP5s for us. AK is nothing for them. So I would check out Iron Curtain Customs. You also have Weapon Genetics and Tomball. He can build an AK. He can build 5 kits in a day. The dude knows what he's doing. I would choose those two. And then you don't have to mail your gun. You can just drop it off.
Right. I like dropping stuff off. I hate mailing stuff out, man.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants to do a full AK-103 conversion.
Yep. I hope you have the parts for it.
Yeah, he said parts are hard to find, though.
Yep.
Are they hard to find, impossible to find, or just very expensive?
Depends on how clone correct you want it to be.
This guy wants it probably perfect. Will is a stickler for accuracy.
So he wants a full 103 conversion.
What's ballpark on that?
So 103, I believe that would be a combo block. He'd have to find a Russian combo block with the big threads. He could use his factory barrel. He needs a gas tube. He needs to move the trigger group back. It's a lot. Just to find those parts and the work, man, I don't know. I'd say anywhere between 12 being the cheapest up to like maybe 1,800. That's the parts, the labor, everything. Just the Russian parts without substituting Bulgarian parts, which is what most people do to save money. It's a major financial investment, and all of these Russian importation bans. And now that ever since, Russia did what it did to Ukraine, it's very hard for anyone to even get a friggin' magazine imported out of Russia, let alone combo blocks and other parts you need for Saiga conversions.
Yeah,
So
I do international logistics, and we don't touch Russian freight right now.
Yeah, and whatever's here, people know that, so they're commanding a premium for it.
That means you got to break out your fanny pack, Will, and spend some big bucks, buddy.
Yep.
He's pretty determined, though. He really wants it, so who knows? Smash, what happened to that sticky holster cartwheel review? Look, man, I was joking about doing a cartwheel because centripetal force is my enemy. Once this body is in motion, it doesn't stop. So I might try and go find someone else to do it, but not me. All right, cool. He says he's heard of Iron Curtain. He's going to give him a call. Flying Riches in the house. What's up, Brad? Nice.
Yes.
Dale says he loves his 43. You know what's funny? When I first started doing this YouTube stuff, I watched a video by, God, who is that? My mind's drawn a blank. The warrior poet himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, are you a protector or are you a collector? He goes, some people buy every single new gun that hits the market, the latest and greatest, and they're always changing guns out. And that's not him. He's a protector. So he just buys what works, and that's it. He just shoots that gun. He doesn't have to fiddle with a whole bunch of stuff. Now that he's pretty YouTube famous and everyone's throwing guns at him, he's kind of changing that tune around. But that really sunk a hole in my brain. Like, man, I really practice a lot just with my carry gun. Mm-hmm. I try and shoot that gun quite a bit because if I just shoot all these random guns, I'm horrible with my carry gun. Desert Tactical, hello to both. You guys rock. Nah, man, you rock. If it wasn't for you, we would just be two lunatics talking on the internet.
I see someone asked about Jim Fuller. That's actually a really good guy to talk about on an AK live stream.
Brad Fletcher, have either of you guys worked with Jim Fuller? Have you worked with him?
Yeah, he was actually at the very first Clash Bash. It was the last year he was with Rifle Dynamics. That's how I met Travis Haley the first time, was meeting. We've known Jim Fuller for a little while now, and he invited us to that freaking, it's like the Rob Dyrdek Fun Factory, only for gun dudes. That's that Travis Haley facility in Phoenix, Arizona.
Man, I'd love to meet Travis Haley. I totally admire that guy.
Yeah. Fuller, as far as just the brief rundown on him, we like to refer to him as kind of the godfather of AK culture in this country. He really is almost completely responsible on his own by making the AK, what's a good word for it? Making the AK, I guess, cool, and making people really take it seriously in this country by his efforts back in the early 2000s, building really high-end AKs for guys that were contracting overseas. And then he opened Rifle Dynamics, and that's how I really got into AKs. That's how I got into events. All of that was a ripple effect from Jim Fuller. A really solid dude. And if he built your AK,
do you think he would come to this Clash Bash?
Man, we've been trying. He's in a position in his life where he's getting older. He's done the rifle dynamics thing for like 10 years. I think he's kind of over a lot of that. He just wants to go to the shop, build like a couple of AKs a week, and not mess with a lot of that stuff anymore. He doesn't go to a lot of public stuff anymore.
Oh
That's just kind
man.
of where he's at now.
Yeah, you can't blame them, man. After people put in their work like that, some of them just want to be left alone.
But Mark Krebs will be there. So anyone that's ever wanted to meet Krebs, he's another one of the OG, like original guys that made AKs, Gucci guns in this country. He'll be there on site. I've never even met him in person, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, so at the Kalashmish event, who was that other guy with the wig? Is that your partner?
Was Tony wearing a wig?
He
He
was
might have
doing like the build off.
been.
He
Tony
was
might have
he
been
was on the
wearing.
mic a lot.
Oh no, that's Cody. Cody runs Weapon Genetics. The guns.
Cody, yeah, Cody. That guy's pretty funny. He's a character too. Man, I tell you, I was only there for 2 hours, but I met every comic book character you could meet. Man, there's so many personalities in the AK community. Like this Kalash Bash, I
Mhm.
can't wait to people watch. I'm digging it, man. I'm so excited to go.
So, do you want one little spoiler? We haven't told anyone this yet. We have something that we're cooking up when we do our prize ceremony. We usually do we do plaques, we do awards. Our prize table is going to be worth about $70,000 this year, but we also like to bring special people up. We have one award we call the Spirit Animal Award. This is someone that all year long, maybe someone that has been posting about Kalash Bash. They've been telling people about it. They're active in the AK community. They've gone to other Kalash Bashes. Like we really can kind of see a few people rise to the top as being like champions for the event. They come out, they dress up, they wear costumes. They're like all about it. Last year we had got two guys that actually tied, and we sent them both home with Romanian PSLs. It's like a $2,200 gun a piece with ammo
Dang.
and prizes and all this stuff. So this year we have a very special award that we're giving away to our spirit animal. I don't know if anyone in the comment section is like a wrestling fan. I grew up loving WCW, WWF, all that stuff. I was a big
Oh yeah.
wrestling fan. So we made like a professional belt this year. Big gold rhinestones, all the cool stuff for the spirit animal. So whoever wins it this year is getting like a friggin' intercontinental, or even better than that, just an undisputed heavyweight championship belt with spirit animal on it with Kalash Bash 2022, along with whatever prize we decide to give them, which is probably going to be a very expensive gun.
Dude, that is so cool, man. I was I
That's stuff
was
we do.
I was balls deep into WWE and WWF back. I went to all the events too when they went to the Staples Center. I never missed one.
Yeah.
I got to see when the Undertaker came back out of retirement. I got to see when, man, I think mid '90s WWE was probably the best.
Oh yeah, Attitude Era stuff. And then I was young at that time, so like when all the Monday Night Wars were happening, and you had like literally the same night, you could change the channel and watch like WCW and WWF all in the same
Yeah,
time. I remember being a kid back in those days, and all my friends were into wrestling. It was just this, we were all into it. My fiance's dad is probably like the biggest wrestling fan anyone would ever like to meet. So we're always just kind of around that stuff. I don't watch it much anymore because I don't have cable.
it's not that good anymore.
Yeah, but I love like watch just the personality from like, even if you think back to wrestling in the 80s, it was like a bunch of cartoon characters with fluorescent colors and larger than life personalities.
Yeah, it was great.
I love that aesthetic.
Did you
So
watch that Netflix show Glow?
no, but I've heard it was good.
Oh my god, buddy. That show is hilarious. It's awesome, man. It's so good. But I watched Brock Lesnar's first dark match.
Really?
So it was at Staples Center, and I was sitting probably 30 rows back, and this guy comes out. They called him just the next big thing. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh, cool. And he's a giant. I'm like, holy crap, this guy's a giant. And then he got on the top rope and jumped across. And I was like, wow, I've never seen someone that big that fast. And then he came out. I mean, they developed those guys over time. So like he came out like 4 or 5 months later as like this huge destroyer character. And man, Brock Lesnar was nuts, man. And he's the one that really got me into UFC too, because when he went to UFC, he brought millions of new fans to UFC. But I just love that. The Undertaker, that whole era, Macho Man, I mean, he's the best. Really so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like at one time, I don't know if he still is, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was the highest paid actor on the planet. And that dude came from freaking wrestling. And at one time, you know, guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin were probably one of the most famous people on the planet just from this fake wrestling show. And
What?
yeah. Oh, dude, when I was young, I had all the Stone Cold shirts.
Yeah.
Like that was the literal shit when I was young. It was awesome.
I love it. I love it. Let's see. Let's see in the chat. We got Nutty. We got Jesus. Smash Time Cowboy. Oh man, I was shooting that 4570. I just dropped that video. God, that gun is so much fun. Lever action guns. I've always wanted one because you see them in the movies growing up, but man, they are really a lot of fun. Painful, very expensive to shoot, but worth it.
Yeah, I grew up on lever guns. I love it. I've got one in the safe right now, a Henry.
Oh yeah, which one? Is it an original Henry?
No. I mean, I don't know how old an original would be. Mine's probably
like 5-6 years old.
Yeah, mine's a Henry Golden Boy, the first edition, and the first time they ever started making the Golden Boy 22 lever actions. I got it back in high school, back in the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s.
Now, oh, we got Mr. Big Kid in the chat. What's up, buddy? So he abandoned Arizona and he moved to Tennessee. He got tired of that heat.
Damn, dude, I would love to live in Arizona.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
No, look, I tell you what, if you go to Prescott, it's really nice. But like Phoenix and Tucson.
Yeah, Phoenix is such a cool town though, man. And for someone like me, in Phoenix alone, there's 3 major gun ranges. Any weekend you can shoot a match. And I love shooting matches. So to be able to be at a match every weekend within an hour, we got to drive. Texas is massive. We have to drive 3 hours. 3 hours is a close match to us.
That weather is disgusting, man. Yeah.
But
I like the dry heat, but it was just too much. And then we shot for like 20 minutes at the range, and then a dust storm came up, and every piece of gun, every sand got in every nook and cranny, all through the range bags. It was horrible, man.
Yep.
Smash. I didn't know the Marlin 4570 holds 6 in the tube. Yes, it does.
High capacity.
Yes. So 6, let's see, $3 a piece. So yeah, so every time you shoot, it's like $20. It's great. Got out of Arizona before the floods. Yeah. Urban Ninja, what's up, buddy? Let's see who else is in here. So let me ask you a question. You just did a video on that what do you call it? The Alpha clone, the one you just dropped, the one that you suppressed. You had a really fat charging handle on that thing. Is that something I can add to my 2 AKs?
Yes.
Do I have to get the whole piece, or does it stick on?
It just sticks on. It's just called an extended charging handle.
Yeah, write that
like
down.
10 different companies make them. Zenico. The one I use is from M13 Industries. It's the only one I've ever gotten to stay on. So anyone that tries to run extended charging handles will all tell you they fly off. That one's been on my gun for like 6 years.
What was the brand? Is that
M13 Industries? That's actually it's a gunsmith out of Las Vegas, and he makes those charging handles.
Industries. Now I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put some like cement with it. It's not coming off.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're handy. They make it really handy to snatch the charging handle quickly.
Yeah, and I thought, man, because I'm kind of a novice, and I got a sissy pinky finger, so when I rack it on the side, I don't want to break a nail. So
one day you and I need to go to the range, and I need to drag you through like a basic AK class, just me and you. And
by the end I don't have to do it topless. I'm all right.
No, by the end of it, people are going to be like, damn, Smash is going to have to show me how to shoot an AK because dude knows what he's doing. Yeah,
because your technique when you're out there, the way you run that gun looks like, John Wick stuff with the AK. It's very impressive, man. I'm not trying to blow smoke, but it just looks, obviously you know what you're doing, but it really looks like you're a professional level, which I guess you are, but it looks so easy for you.
A point that I like to make to people, because a lot of people, even though we're in this big AK renaissance, like AKs are probably more popular in this country than they have ever been. I mean, 10 years ago, AKs were kind of frowned upon. And before, like when our dads were young, AKs were 100% frowned upon. Like that's a bad guy gun. Like that gun shot at my dad in Vietnam. Why do you own that?
Yeah.
So
I've run into those guys still.
yeah. And if it's not that, you've got just the same old stuff that you've heard for years. AKs are inaccurate. They got too much recoil. They're not ergonomic. There's all these problems why you should just buy an AR.
Right.
The best point I can give you is when you grow up in a country where the AR is that's your country's gun, you're probably going to shoot ARs more than a lot of other carbines growing up, especially in this country. Just like if someone were to grow up in a former Soviet country, AKs are everywhere. That's all you know. You don't even think of it as being non-ergonomic. So when you spend as much time on an AK as you ever would on an AR, everything you thought you knew about their downfalls, it all goes out the window. It is nothing more than a training issue. You just have to learn how to work it. It's you just have to do a few things differently, and then that's what you look like on an AK. An AK can freaking sing, man. You can tune the gas with gas blocks, gas pistons. You can tune recoil with muzzle brakes. All about how you stand with it, your posture, the way that you tuck it in a certain pocket of your shoulder. It's very different than in an AR. Once you get past that barrier of just thinking that the AK is going to slow you down and spend quite a lot of time on it, a lot of dry fire, a lot of mag changes, AKs can stomp a lot of ARs down into the mud, especially at a match. I mean, we run circles around dudes with ARs that have been shooting them their whole lives. It is nothing more than it just takes time to learn it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't want to because why would you? ARs are so easy to get. They're everywhere. It's our country's gun. It's easy to not really want to take the time to learn on an AK like they would on an AR.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, that Vesca review I did, if you watch how I'm shooting it, it's so embarrassing, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not standing right. It looks like it's going to jump out of my hands.
It's just a different animal compared to what
I almost took that video down. I was embarrassed. I was like, oh, man, I got to take that shit down. It's horrible.
Oh, it's not bad.
All right. Squishy Face Guy. Man, you know what? That's probably one of the funniest screen names I've ever seen. Any plans to trick out a WBP Jack in 5.56? I don't know what that is.
I would love to. That's Polish. I'm a big nerd for NATO AKs. Any AK chambered in 5.56, it tickles my fancy, man. That's one I haven't got my hands on. I've gotten my hands on the Polish Beryl, but never WBP. Two different factories in Poland. So they make a Jack, which is basically like a 16-inch AKM, but it's 5.56, and they make a mini Jack, which is like it's probably like a 10-inch barrel, little small 5.56 AK, and people are having really good luck with them. I just haven't got my hands on one yet.
Can you find those here?
Yeah, they're imported in Texas. Arms of America. They come right through Texas.
Dude, what's taking you so long, bro?
Hey, that stuff ain't cheap. No one's giving me free guns.
Yeah. Gear Know-how's in the chat. What's up, buddy? Another one to consider if you're open to domestic AKs. PSA has some great options. I gotta tell you, you gave me advice on getting that AK with the dong, and there's something about shooting an AK with a dong. It's so comfortable, and it runs circles around the Sentry one just because that grip. Obviously, some thought went into it because it feels like it's made for the gun because it's made for the gun,
and it looks like it would not be uncomfortable, right?
It looks weird. It looks like the mag would get in the way.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. The mag just goes right in. So, man, it was that dong. If you guys are out getting an AK, if you're looking to get an AK, get one with the dong. You won't regret it.
Yeah. Gripping dongs, man. It really, everyone should grip a dong, especially on AKs.
Yeah, I just like saying it out loud. Watch out for the dong.
Don't let your mag hit your dong on the way in. Might trip you up a little bit.
Desert Tactical said he bought the extended charging handle and it flew off.
Yeah, a lot of people have that problem. So you have, I think, like the most common charging handles, I think Circle 10 AK, they make a ton of different bolt-on extendo charging handles. And every time I bought one, they would fly off. But John's, the M13, is the only one. It stayed on for 6 years at this point. And I'm banging this gun off of windowsills and walls at competitions. It has stayed. All the rest have come off. So
Urban Ninja has a pretty interesting comment. I would love to attend a Klayco47 AK class. Why not?
I get
Get
asked that
like
all the
5,
time,
you know,
dude.
limit it to like 6 people.
I get asked that all the time, and my biggest fear, well, I don't want to charge for it. My biggest fear, because then it gets into liability insurance and all that. But my biggest
You
fear,
could make donations.
yeah, yeah, you could buy me. There's apps where you could like buy me a coffee, like really expensive coffees or something. Um, my biggest fear is honestly what that, I guess socially what that looks like. Like I've got no law enforcement experience. I didn't serve in the military, none of that. And I've always thought the guys that don't have that background that get into training of any kind, it's very, let me just be honest, it's kind of frowned upon. I mean, if you were to ask anyone, you're taking a class with a guy that has no background in any of that stuff, people would say, "What? Who does this guy think he is that he could even that he could train someone? He doesn't have a background in military." That's what's stopping me. I
No,
don't.
that's ridiculous, man. Look at the guy from T-Rex Arms. He's
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the best example to give people because the dude can shoot.
bro. I've met a lot of people in the military that can't shoot for shit. Like really, they suck.
Yeah.
No offense, any prime military, but if you are prime military, you know half those guys barely qualified with those rifles.
And you're being taught. And don't let me step on my pee-pee here. Any of you guys that are in the comments, I appreciate all of you that have served. When it comes to AKs, I don't know what they teach you in an American military. I'm sure there's something, especially with the enemy that we fought for the past 20 years. There's got to be something, some basic course on what do you do if you stumble across one of these in the desert. You got to know how to kick it open and do something with it. So, having said that, I don't think there would be that much stigma teaching a specific AK class in this country because it's not like, I mean, does American military experience really do much for you in an AK class, especially if you're trying to teach dudes? So I don't know. I've taken several AK specific classes. I've got, I guess, a toolbox, if you will. The best class I ever took was with Russians. When we took a class with Center T, they came all the way from Moscow. These dudes are all, former Spetsnaz from the 80s, like hardcore dudes. When they taught us what they knew about AKs, I forgot everything I ever thought I knew about them. And it really put it into perspective that if you do train with someone that really knows their way around one, it doesn't matter. You really want someone that has time, a lot of time, and a lot of rounds on them. And I do have that, but I still don't know if I'd ever do a class.
That's an easy
I don't know,
fix.
man.
Don't put too much into it. Make it a basic intro to AK class. There's so many new people getting into AKs that you could sell that class all day long. You don't have to be kicking down doors, running around and rolling around in the dirt, man. How to properly load an AK, how to take apart an AK, how to care for an AK. It could just be a 1-day class and then you get drunk after. It's great. It's great. But you don't have to make it too technical. Just make it an intro to AK class. Charge $200 a person. Bring your own ammo and AK.
I think the class should just be come to learn all the bad habits that we pick up as Americans trying to apply everything we know on an AR to an AK and why it's all a bad habit. That would be a good class. Just the bare minimum basics, loading, unloading, checking for safety, how to zero. A lot of people don't really understand because AK irons are zeroed with the metric system, not the American system. So you'll zero it for 25 yards and you can't hit what you think you're trying to hit because none of that carries over. There's a lot of nuances that people try to bring over from what they've learned on ARs that just does not work on an AK. So maybe you have a good point. Maybe we should do it. Maybe
Yeah,
you should
look,
be in the first
Will
class.
right here. Boom. You got 2 people in my chat alone plus me. That's 3, and we'd all pay to go take the class.
Okay. Maybe we'll do it one day. I know the ranch.
We'll make it a smash time donation AK class or some shit. We'll think of something, but I try and copy how you do your rifle manipulation, and I did actually break a nail doing it because I wasn't doing it right. So,
one of the biggest bad habits I see, and this is definitely going to make some people mad in the comments because I feel like everyone does this when they first buy an AK. Like you see this in movies and video games. Everyone does this, and it's honestly a bad habit. When you go to reload an AK, what do you see everyone do? They grab a mag and they just love using that mag to smack the other mag out. Because that's what you see in movies. You see it in video games. It is a terrible way to reload an AK, but it looks cool on camera, and it's just pop culture to do that. I can usually tell if someone's just kind of dipping their toe into the platform because I'll see that reload done, and I'm like, gotta fix it. I gotta go tap this dude on the shoulder and go, let's not do it because we think it looks cool. Let me show you the real way to do this. It's such a waste of motion. It's bad for the mag, bad for your gun. It's bad for everything, bad for your trigger guard. It's just a terrible way to do it.
So you mean instead of taking the mag here like this and then just cranking out the old mag and then sticking it in, there's a better way to do it?
So there's several better ways to do it.
Oh.
But you typically see people, and there's really not many people out there teaching that way, but it's what you see in movies and video games and pop culture. That's how everyone does it on TV.
Yeah, right.
It's a bad way to do it.
The internet never lies to me.
Never.
AZ Gardner said the first AK-47 I shot was owned by a Vietnam vet. He said the M16 sucks. Actually, the first generation M16s did suck. Using special forces. Yeah, man. There's a lot of people. Gear No How says, Klayco, how do you feel about the Zastava 556?
I have one and I love it. I've got several videos on it. It is such a good gun for the money. Awesome gun for the
What's
money.
MSRP on those?
I paid 13. At the height of COVID too. I paid 13 at the height of COVID.
See, I want either a KUSA or a Zastava, but what the freak, man? I want the KUSA one, but it's never coming out. It's driving me nuts, man.
It will though. So I mean, if you don't desperately need it now, just wait. It will.
I don't, because I did buy a bunch of steel 223 because the market now is flooded with Russian ammo, but it's going to dry up probably February or March.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
While that steel ammo is here, I know a lot of guys have a problem running steel ammo in a lot of different guns. A lot of dudes with ARs, they don't like to. I don't think you have a problem with it, but a lot of people do. Cool thing about AKs, they were designed from the ground up to run specifically with steel case ammo. That's what they were meant to do. They're extremely overgassed. A lot of AKs will actually damage brass case ammo, if not rip the rims off, because they are so overgassed, and the steel cases can handle that. So, feel no shame. You got no shame hosing all that really cheap ammo through your AK. They were made for it. That's why you should buy one.
That's right. I'm tempted. Bro, just get it. Just get it.
You'll love it.
Gort says, seeing some Pioneer Arms AK showing up here. Look pretty nice.
So, this is where, man, I'm going to get in trouble. There's some companies you should be a little cautious of. Pioneer, they are technically using some Polish parts, but it's not even in the same ballpark as the WBPs and the FBs. Pioneer, like if you had to put all three Polish AKs in the country right now, Pioneer would be at the very bottom. And Pioneer actually split off from another AK company back in the day that had a very bad reputation that shall not be named. So just take that for whatever it is.
Oh, really? Real quick in the chat, if you're not a subscriber to Klayco47, Klayco, right?
Yes.
I always say whatever. Klayco47, get it right. How rude of me. I just put a link to his channel in the chat. Please click, like, and subscribe to his channel. And if you're not a subscriber to me, I'd greatly appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. You can always unsubscribe if you don't like me, which you'll probably unsubscribe. Let's see. Jermaine Gray. What's up, buddy? Andrew Conrad, my man from Florida. Lee Fox. E-Rock. Man, all these. You know what's funny? Everyone's like, man, how do you like your subscribers? It's like, man, I don't even think of people as subscribers. I think of like online friends.
Yeah. You know? I've met lifelong friends just doing this dumb stuff on the internet, man. There's a lot of good people that you would never meet unless you were doing this stuff.
1,000%. I never would have met you.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. House of Lamar. That's so funny. I hope that's a Revenge of the Nerds throwback. Let's see. Any more questions? Let's see. Klayco47 Jedi with Modern Samurai Project and Mark Smith with JBS do not have military LE background. Yeah, that's true.
I if I ever did a class, I wouldn't sell it as I wouldn't be there teaching you how to, you hear a bump in the night, here's what you do. I would not be there for that. I shoot matches with my AKs. I like to shoot dirt piles with my AKs. I would just
There
show you
you
how
go.
to shoot your
How
AK.
to shoot a match with an AK basics. As long
Yeah.
as you put basics in there, you don't have like hardcore people showing up expecting to do all this crazy shit. Look, put up a one stage, have a couple AKs out, have people learn. They could bring their own, or they could pay and rent one, or borrow one with the donation, whatever. Dude, I would sign up for that all day long. I think it'd be great.
You know what we
Look
should
right
call
here.
it? How to not shoot your PP off with an AK. LLC.
Oh my god, I'm all in. Look right here. There's another one. You got 5 already, buddy.
That's half a class.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's good. Plus, we could film it, so you get content and a class out of it, and that's good all day long. Squishy, do you think the 80% rule change is going to affect AK building going forward? Ooh, that's a question for you.
Oh, for me, do you think the new 80% rule change going to affect AK building? I don't know. I'm sure it will. A lot of guys build on 80% AR receivers. So however it affects everything else, it will certainly affect AKs.
God, this country is going bananas. I don't know. I don't even want. Politics is just so nuts right now.
Yeah, I don't even like talking about it. And I know that there's always this stigma that if you're into guns, you should be out there just being vocal all the time. But man, it's stressful and it's exhausting at the same time to constantly be on the offensive politically about guns, to the point where I just want to shoot dirt piles with guns and film it and put that on.
Sometimes it wears you out.
It does,
M.
man.
Gabriel says, I thought AK still used Arshins.
Arshins. I don't know what that.
M. Gabriel, can you
I don't know if I've ever heard of that word before. What is an Arshin?
any shovel with a hole in it is now an AK? Huh? Gabriel, you're confusing us, bro. Desert Tactical says, for the first 6 months of this year, I ran the AK. This is when I realized I have so much to learn. Yeah, I mean, for me, just holding it correctly and not having it jump off my shoulder when I shoot it. You know, I had a lot of video I threw out because I couldn't use it because I just looked so amateur. And I am an amateur when it comes to guns, but that looked like day one stuff, man. So I was pretty embarrassed.
I really wouldn't worry too much about it. Everyone when they first get into AKs, it's awkward at first. It's a very different shooting experience. It's like driving the same car, only now you got a stick shift in it all of a sudden. It's a lot more manual. There's a lot more things you have to do to get it to work.
AKP for the win, says TMC.
AK Peasants, yes. Big fan.
Best 5.56 AK. Man, I know, man. I want a 5.56 AK so bad.
It's the hotness, and and unfortunately, they got more popular because of the Russian ammo ban, and 5.45 is slowly getting, it's not too expensive right now, but it's definitely a hell of a lot more expensive than Steelcase 223. And just knowing that it might not be there next year, 5.56 AKs are the hotness right now because of that. It's not that they're better guns. It's just knowing that you can always shoot them.
Because I took my ammo budget and I've been spending it a lot on 7.62 just because you don't know where it's going to be in a few years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right now I'm sitting on like 5,000 rounds. But when you 20 years, that's not a lot. I mean, you can never have enough.
Right.
And it's still so much fun to shoot. And actually, I'm glad I don't have any full auto AKs because I would be done with that ammo quick.
It's so funny. I still to this day have to pinch myself that I have access to so many machine guns. If you would have told me 10 years ago I'd be doing that, I would totally think you were lying to me. But at the same time, when you're around them so much, they kind of do start to lose their sex appeal a little bit because they are so expensive and they burn through so much ammo. They are super sick, super awesome, but sometimes I do just want to bring a couple hundred rounds to the range and slowly enjoy my shooting experience compared to it being done like that.
Yeah, when you get a really fun gun to shoot, I mean, heck, when I got that Masterpiece Arms double stack 1911, I took that to the range. I didn't even do like an unboxing, an intro, nothing. I was so excited to shoot it. I shot 500 rounds before I even filmed it once. And then I put probably 3,000 rounds through that stupid pistol in the last 3 months. It's so smooth. It comes with 3 17-round mags. You load them up so quick, and it's so much fun to shoot. It's like crack.
Shooting is
And
just so much fun.
Yeah.
It's man, it's so much fun, and it's just so unfortunate that it could all be gone so quick when, I don't know, some people have a really hard time that are completely out of the whole gun world, have a really hard time understanding that some people could just be into guns because it is so much fun for no other reason. I don't
Stress
hunt.
reliever.
Yeah, I don't hunt. I did when I was young. I really have no interest in it anymore. I'm not against it. I just don't do it. I don't have time for it. I just purely shoot for fun. I don't collect guns. I don't really do anything other than I can go hose 1,000 rounds, and I can't think of anything more fun that I like to do in my life. It's the whole reason I'm even into them. And some people have a really hard time understanding that outside of guns. They think, so you don't hunt, you're not just owning them to protect your family. So why would you need any use for that? Because it's a whole hell of a lot of fun.
It's fun.
You can go
I
buy a
love it.
Porsche. I'm going to buy a lot of ammo. Both can be really dangerous, but
Yeah.
both
So
are a lot of fun.
that was a big factor in me selling my GTR because my wife was like, all right, you're getting into guns. You got this car sitting in the garage. You drive on the weekends. What are you going to do? I'm like, damn. I don't know. So I sold it. So I like shooting so much. It's just a great. I love it. So real quick, One Lee June in the building. What's up, buddy? Matt always learning says Klayco brought me here. Nice. Welcome, man. I appreciate it. Please consider subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. Desert Tactical has a very good question. Raleigh Defense, Raleigh Defense, PSA GF3, or Century Arms BFT. Thoughts on those?
Oof, man, I avoid this question so much because it comes up a lot.
Mm.
I get this question a lot because these are probably the cheapest ways to get into AKs currently. So it's always the first thing a lot of people that don't really know, they just, I mean, if you don't really know that you're going to like it, you probably just want to buy something cheap, try it out. These are the three that everyone just tries out just to dip their toe in it.
Buy once, cry once.
Yes, you definitely, all I can tell you is you absolutely get what you pay for with AKs. If an AK is cheap, it's cheap for a reason. If an AK is expensive, it's probably imported, which means it's built on former Soviet tooling. Everything's cold hammer forged that needs to be. It's built on data packs. It was not reverse engineered here in this country. It's straight off the tap. So it's worth the money. Anything American made, you should definitely be just a little bit cautious of if you absolutely cannot afford an Eastern European copy of an AK. Okay. If you have to go American, I think out of these three that we have here, I think the GF3 would be top of the list. Just because I know that so many people have them, and I've heard a lot of good and just a little bit of bad. The BFT, it's the only reason I would put it below that. It's not really a copy of anything. That is something Century's trying to do. That it's no clone of any AK. It's like it's a weird stamped receiver, bulge trunnion, thick barrel. Like it's not Yugo pattern. It really follows no pattern because they're departing so much from a typical AK pattern. I would be a little cautious, and they've kind of got a shady history in the past, but Century is trying. They are really, really trying, and I'm rooting for them. Riley Defense would definitely be at the bottom of my list just because they don't have the greatest track record, and there's just no hiding that. So out of those, I would definitely go PSA.
And I do one other thing. I'd get the GF5 because it comes with the FN barrel.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
buddy of mine has one with
like an extra 30 bucks. And if you get a blem, like wait for a PSA blemish sale, you're in the money, man. That GF5 and get one with a dong. That's what I got. I got the GF5 with a dong. God,
and there's something very special about your GF5. That's not just any typical AK. So PSA doesn't really promote this fact much, but PSA is building real kits. A PSA GF3, that's all American parts. Your AK was built from a Romanian kit. That means all the parts that absolutely need to be right are right because they came out of a parts kit. They want to sell their American AK so much, they're not actually promoting their kit builds as hard, which is absolutely the one that you should buy. If you can afford the GF5 with the Romanian kit, buy that. That's probably the best deal on an AK today, and you're getting quality parts. PSA's even building Russian parts kits, for crying out loud, but they don't promote it very much. Like, you can buy an RPK from PSA right now. That's a kit build. Why they haven't sold out is beyond me. They just don't promote them much, but it is one of the best kept secrets in the AK world right now are these PSA kit builds.
An
I mean,
RPK, huh? I think they want like 1,800 for it, right?
yeah, but for you to get one from Century, they haven't imported them in like a year or two, but when they did, they were 1,700. In today's market, they'd probably be over 2K. So,
Oh man, an RPK, huh?
and RPKs are amazing.
Don't
One of
plant
my
these
favorite
seeds,
guns.
bro. Don't plant these seeds, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, Clay. Now I'm gonna be on PSA's website later, looking
Yep.
for an RPK.
Well, you like your GF5, right? That's a Romanian
I
part.
gotta tell you, that GF5, man, it is. I shot 2,000 rounds through that thing. Easy. It's so much fun. And with the dong, I was scared I was gonna burn up that barrel because I was shooting 6, 7 mags at a time, and then I'd have to put it down and let it stop smoking. But how many mags can I shoot semi-auto pretty quickly through an AK before I have to worry about that barrel getting messed up?
Just pour some water on it. You're not gonna hurt it.
AKs, man. Freaking AKs.
Dude, I'll put something into perspective. One of the very first machine guns, for anyone listening, we have an FFL SOT. It's all totally legal. Our very first machine gun was an Egyptian parts kit, one of the most ragged out Egyptian parts kits I have ever seen, with a factory barrel. So this barrel had, who knows, thousands of rounds before we ever got it. That gun has been the redheaded stepchild. It has been shot by so many people, so many times. It is a drain pipe for ammo at this point. It is like the straight up loner. That's the gun that you shot that we brought out. Had the triangle
really?
stuck on it. That gun alone has to have, just while we have had it. Remember, that barrel led a full life in Egypt before it ever came here and got rebuilt.
Right.
Who knows? I mean, we probably easily have 25,000, 30,000 full auto, super hot, dirty steel case rounds through it since we've had it. Who knows how many rounds it had before it came here. It still holds tight groups. I mean, you shot it. Still kind of looks like a brand new gun. Just get it recoated.
That looked great.
Get it recoated every now and again. The internals can go so long. And what's so cool about 30 caliber AK-762 specifically, and there's actually a really good channel that you can reference, Kalashnikov Concern. Look them up on YouTube. They do torture tests with AKs, meltdown tests where they shoot them until they don't shoot no more. 762 will always outlast 545 and 223 because the round is so big and is moving so much slower than a small, fast-moving round. They don't wear the barrel out as fast. So they can sustain a longer, higher rate of fire without damaging or blowing the barrel out for much longer than, its little brother, the 545, or its, cousin, the 223. So a 762 AK, I mean, they are almost indestructible. There's nothing you should worry about with a semi-auto. There's nothing you should worry about as far as hurting it.
Okay.
Nothing.
That's good to know because I thought I was abusing it too much.
No, you're fine.
We got Levi in the chats. My brother just moved here from California. It's one of my buddies I used to run the streets with. He's already balls deep in the guns. He just got his Texas ID today.
Oh,
and he
dude.
goes, what do I need? What do I need? Can I start concealed carrying now? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe. You're technically a resident of Texas.
California. What was it like? Basically, like coming into Candyland, where you have access to all this cool gun stuff now that you never had access to before.
When I first, I moved here and I went to my first gun show, and I brought my wife, and it was at Reliant or George. It was at George R. Brown, and I went in and I could just smell that weird musky smell, and I just started zigzagging. I didn't go up and down the aisles. I was so excited to see like shit I couldn't touch in California. I was zigzagging. And after about 10 minutes, my wife was like, you know what? I'll be outside. You come out when you're done. I spent 6 hours in there and it's not a big gun show. And I was just amazed at all this cool detachable magazine shit you could touch. It was great. It was fantastic, man.
That's cool. I love hearing that stuff.
It's like, that's why I tell people I'm a born again Texan. I love it, man. It's just so much. It's so much better here. Levi's gonna be. He's gonna have some fun. Well, technically, he's a Texas resident now. He's got his ID, so he could probably go buy a gun.
Where does he live? In Texas? What part?
He lives south by like Pearland.
Okay. We ought to bring him out one day. If he ever comes through town, we'll bring a couple full auto AKs out.
Oh shit! Oh man, he's already. I took him to the indoor range, just let him goof around with a couple things, and he was already sold. That full auto is gonna ruin his life.
It's always so much fun seeing someone shoot a full auto for the very first time because there's only one first time, and it's always the best reaction that you get from people. I love it. I'll let anyone shoot a machine gun for the
It's
first
not
time.
only his first full auto, his first AK.
Mm.
Man, oh god, that's gonna be bananas. That'd be fun. Jay Galab just moved to Montgomery.
Yeah.
What up? Oh man, Montgomery's that's my
Hometown.
county. That's where I live.
Yep.
And it seems like the GF3 was a consensus out of the group.
Yeah.
Everyone loves it.
You know, a gun that no one's really talked about much. I think I've seen one comment in that price range. You're in a Zastava M70 territory, which I would put at the top of all of that list of those three.
I got my GF5, I think, for like 12.
Yeah, M70s come in. I've seen them as low as like $900 at a gun show.
Oh shucks, are you serious?
That's full Serbian barrel, Serbian receiver. Full on Serbian gun, and M70s are awesome guns. They're so cheap because Zastava used to use Sentry to import their guns, so everything had to get marked up. Now Zastava has their own importation group. It's here. They are here importing their own guns, and they don't have to mark them up so high. It's probably the best price for an import we're ever going to see again. They're cheaper than Wasser 10s for crying out loud. That's the gun to buy if you're on a budget.
Oh man, I'm sold. No. I'm waiting for the 5.56 AK.
And you still have to buy an RPK. So I think right now you need the
Damn it.
101, the RPK, and an M70, and then you're good.
Damn it, RPK. That's the longer one, right?
Yep, it's about a 23-inch barrel. It's got bipods. You haven't
On
been
your
there when we
Kalash
had our
Bash
gun?
commercial, was that guy running around with the RPK shooting the stations?
That was a PKM. That was a belt-fed light machine gun that shoots 7.62 by 54R. That's Neil. That's probably the craziest thing anyone has ever done at the match. Dude literally ran the entire match from the shoulder with a friggin' PKM, which was awesome. He's a superhero now.
Dude, if you haven't seen that commercial on Klayco's, I'll find it and post a link, but that was amazing watching him run around and shoot those targets. I don't know if he was hitting it too well, but it didn't matter. It looked cool as heck. Got Beezy here. Clay brought me here. Let's go Kalash Bash. Man, I can't wait. I'm so excited. PSA AKP. He loves his. TMC. Yeah. Boss Hog's in here. What's up, buddy? Let's see. Jay Schuler with a $5 super chat. Man, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Every super chat I get goes right back into the channel. I give away. I try and give back to the community as much as I can. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I know all about the DDIs. Those were so you can't buy those anymore. It's not even a company anymore.
What is a DDI?
That was an American company, maybe. Damn, like back in 2015, 2016, maybe 2017-ish. They were making AKs. It was one of the first American companies that was starting to make like triangle folder AKs, AKMs with triangle folders. They just didn't stick around very long. The company did not last long. They had a pretty good reputation while they were here. And a little birdie tells me that when they went out of business, they were bought out by PSA. And that's how PSA kind of got their start. Building AKs was acquiring DDI when they finally decided to call it quits. But while DDI was in business, they had a really good reputation. So if you have one, they're pretty rare. They really didn't make that many. But they were highly regarded back then.
Oh, nice. G-Man, where can I find wood furniture for the Zastava M90?
Depends if you want surplus, Apex, you're going to like this. So Apex has a lot of Balkan War surplus AK furniture for Romanian AKs and Serbian M70s and M90s. Usually it's going to be pretty beat up. It's going to have trench art in it. It's going to have some chick's name carved in it from the 90s. It's super sick. I've got a set. It's called Balkan War wood. There's so much surplus that came out of that. It's basically like a Serbian civil war that happened in the 90s. So much of that furniture is in the country, and it's all stuck in the 90s. You'll find surplus Serbian wood with like Baywatch stickers on it. You'll find Street Fighter stickers on it, like bikini stickers on it. It's all got trench art. It's some of the coolest wood that's available, and Apex usually always has it. And what's cool is you never know what you're going to get. So when you buy the surplus wood, you're like, it might be really rough, it might be okay, or you might get lucky and have trench art. Every time I bought it from Apex, I had trench art. And I've literally got wood with city names carved in it, girl names, Muslim names, everything carved in this wood, which was on both sides of the conflict. I have one piece of wood from one side, one piece of wood from the Muslim side on the same gun. It's cool. Surplus is just really cool. So go to Apex.
That sounds pretty cool. TMCs, I hated AK sights for a while, but they are growing on me.
They're pistol sights. They're basically pistol sights.
AK flats are exempted. I guess he's talking about that new law. That's good.
Okay.
Matt, always learning. I would seriously pay to come train with Clay. See, I told you, man. You could easily put that class together. And you don't have to call it, just a kickback. It doesn't have to be that serious. People can take it as serious as they want.
We could do it. Honestly, man, I would do something like that for free the first time, just for like proof of concept. I wouldn't want to take anyone's money and like not know what I'm doing. I would love to do a proof of concept, to do a free class the first time, just to make sure everything goes smoothly and people got something out of it. Then I probably would seriously consider it.
Well, let's do like a little 5-guy class. I got 3 people. I can fill it up right now. Let's do it.
Tell you what, let's get past.
Not like you got nothing going on coming up soon.
Let's get past Kalash Bash and get out of these hot months, and maybe do something in the wintertime. AK was made for that.
Only June. Don't have an AK, but thinking about it. I'm a 300 blackout kind of man. Just get it, buddy. Just get one.
Bro, 7.62 suppress is pretty good. It's pretty good suppressed caliber, and there's still some subs available out there if you're into that kind of thing.
Chris Justin says KR 103 side folder, yay or nay?
Yay.
All right.
They make good guns. They just do.
You're not bad for a white guy? I don't know. Okay, Gail.
I don't identify as a white guy, so I would appreciate let's not use pronouns, please.
What did the governor of Florida, he goes, my pronoun is I don't give a shit or something. Yeah. That was funny, man. That guy's hilarious.
I heard Louis C.K. say, I want to be referred to as there because I identify as a place, and that place is your mom's, you know what.
Man, I'm so glad he's back to doing comedy again.
Yep.
God, that stupid Me Too movement killed him.
Dude, Rachel and I saw him live like 7 years ago, and it was so funny. And then he got canceled. But he's back now, dude. He's killing it.
Yeah, he's so funny. There's a Texas comedian, this black guy, and his name is he's from Houston. God, what is his name? He's so funny though. That's gonna drive me nuts. That is gonna drive me up the wall. I'm gonna have to Google that. Sorry.
You know what? Rachel and I love comedy shows. We've only been to a few, but we're big fans of like Tom Segura. I watch every podcast that he does.
Tom Segura is great.
Great. Bert Kreischer, guys like that. All, that kind of clique of comedians that's kind of touring the country right now. We really want to see Steve-O live, and we're going to miss him by like 3 days in Las Vegas.
Ali Sadiq is the comedian.
Oh, yeah.
He's a storyteller, so his comedy is funny. So, guys, if you want to listen to some really funny comedy, his name's Ali Sadiq. He's from Houston, Texas, and he'll reference parts of Houston in his story, which is hilarious to me. Because he was like, yeah, I used to live in this projects by Briar Forest. And I was like, hey, I know that place. It's just right there. Let's see. Nobody wanted a 5.56 AK a few years ago.
Right.
I couldn't sell SLR 106 for more than 900.
Dude, he could not be more right. I've probably owned 6 SLR 106s. I didn't pay a dime over $900 for any of them. Texas Gun Trader back in the day, you could find a 106 any time of the day, anytime you looked for $800 to $900. Those guns today, $2,500 if they're nice. If they're crappy, 2 grand maybe. Tony and I bought 2 of the last ones that ever got imported for $850 a piece from K-Bar, and then they stopped importing them. We still have one. We kept one, brand new in the box, never had a round through it. SLR 106 FR, one of the last 5 to ever come in. And like he said, you couldn't give those guns away back then. If it wasn't 5.45 or 7.62, nobody wanted it. Now, NATO AKs are the hotness.
Yeah. Lee Fox says looking for a good AK, have a few cheaper units. What's the best? So I think good as in like he wants mid to high level. What's your
It honestly depends on what you want to spend. If you got $1,000 to spend,
No, I think he's probably up to like $2,000 range. Like
well, that
if
opens up.
if he already has a few cheaper ones, he wants a good one.
If he's got like 2 grand to spend, that kind of gets you close to like boutique AK territory. So that's like take one of your nice AKs, send it to a gunsmith, and get just the works done to it, and then you would have a super trick AK. But when you get into like the 2 grand to 2,500, anywhere between 2 and 3, you're talking like the Meridian Defense AKs, Rifle Dynamics AKs, some other smaller boutique shops, the M13, the Occam Defense stuff. There's a lot of that territory gets you into some really cool stuff. They're just called boutique AK gunsmiths.
Boutique.
So if you're familiar with Rifle Dynamics, you can go to their site right now, and they'll have an AK that it was probably a parts kit or some off-the-shelf gun. They do front-end conversions. They'll do triangle folders. They tune them. They'll tune the triggers, the gas systems. So the AK it's still like a regular old base AK, but they'll do $1,000 or $1,500 worth of work to it, and they'll sell it to you for like $2,500, and you've got just a Cadillac of an AK. That's what I would say. If you could spend the money, get a really nice boutique AK, Krebs Custom, M13, Occam, Rifle Dynamics, people like that.
Krebs Customs. I've heard of those guys.
He'll be at Clash Bash.
Oh, nice. Lee Fox, you should go to Clash Bash. I bought my ticket today. Oh, so that ticket, can I stay all day with that ticket? Can I like hang out at night?
You would have to buy a camping pass if you want to
hang I don't want to camp there. I just want to kind of hang out and kind of poke around a little bit before I go home.
So general admission, you would be able to stay. I think what we do is about an hour after the event shuts down. So we stop around 5 o'clock Saturday. So we give everyone until 6 to kind of vacate the premises, because then we try to move our whole production to the campsite for all the people that have paid for the campsite. We like to keep the nighttime stuff exclusive because they paid to be there at night.
Right. 100%. Of course. Jay, well, real quick, everyone in the chat, I just posted a link to Klayco's channel. Please like, subscribe. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. And if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please like and subscribe. I will absolutely appreciate it. Jay has a good question. We'll see if PSA comes to the rescue making 7.62 and 5.45.
They say they're gonna. I mean, they've at least tried everything they said they were gonna do. They at least tried it. They said they're going to make 7.62 and 5.45. I think even KUSA claims they have a way to import steel case ammo that's legal, and they're going to be doing it soon. So if there's money to be made somewhere, if there's a hole that needs to be filled in the market, someone's going to fill it. There will be a way for that ammo to come back. It might not be as cheap as it once was, but someone will get it back in.
Good night. Yeah, I see you. Monkeys. I tell you, man. Eric Reed says 7.62 by 3.9 isn't going anywhere, but 5.45 is going extinct. I haven't seen it in the stores in a minute.
It's a caliber that is, if you've ever shot a 74 in 5.45, it is about as good as an AK has ever gotten. No AK will ever shoot as good as like a factory 16-inch AK-74 in 5.45. The mags are gorgeous. The guns are gorgeous. They shoot. It's one of the lightest recoiling guns you'd ever feel, and the ballistics are great. It just never took off in this country, unfortunately. It is. It's not even 9-1 as far as the popularity with 7.62 compared to 5.45. It's smaller than that. But we all have this pipe dream that 5.45 would have gotten more popular, so maybe people would spend money and bring the ammo in. But anyone in their right minds that is going to put their money on the line to invest in 5.45 would be crazy when the safe bet is to stick with 7.62 or 2.23. It's such an awesome round, awesome platform. It just never took off like it should have. And it probably never will. It's probably always going to be like a really niche Gucci thing. That's probably where it's going to stay, unfortunately.
Yeah. TMC, I love the AKV, but don't like 9. Bro, I love it. So that is my favorite PCC. Yeah, I like it more than the MPX. They replaced the MPX in my gun lineup. I like it more than the Ruger Charger. I like it more than the Strybog. I like it more than all of them, man. I just love it.
9mm AKs are dope.
Yeah, really
Such good
cool.
guns.
M. Gabriel, I wonder if 5.8 by 4.2 will be all over the place soon. Never even heard of that round.
I've never heard of it, so I doubt it. Oh, wait. 5.8 by 4.2. That's not what that new SIG's chambered in, is it?
I have no idea.
I think that's what that, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Isn't that what the new SIG that we just adopted, the new belt-fed SIG? Maybe that's what that is.
Maybe. Eric Reed, PSA with FN barrel, beat everything in the meltdown test. I know, that's the GF5. That thing is so cool.
J-Mac did a really good meltdown test on one of those PSA guns, and it lasted a long time.
Yeah, like you seen Iraq Veteran when he does his meltdown test.
Yep.
I think he's going to do a live one at IV88 this year.
Mm.
Which
Man, those videos were so good. He doesn't really do many meltdowns anymore, but back in the day, you couldn't help but sit through the entire thing. They were so good.
I couldn't stop watching it. You always want to see when it's going to die and what part's going to fail. Usually it's the gas block on a AR. And the AK is
what? So AK, you're almost guaranteed on a 5.45 that you're going to burst the barrel right behind the gas block. That's just what happens. 7.62, they're all designed to burst the barrel right behind the gas block. It's where the barrel's the thinnest, and that's just what they do. There's a really good YouTube. Any of you that care, there's a YouTube channel called Kalashnikov Concern. It is the verified YouTube channel from the Kalashnikov factory in Russia. They made their own channel, so they've got unlimited funding. The meltdowns that they have done on that channel, they've done RPKs, 74s, Krinks, AKMs, 103s, PPSH 41s, like awesome comm block guns, and they shoot them to failure. It is as good as those IV88 videos. The production quality is awesome, and it's really good info. It puts a lot of things into perspective.
I love meltdown videos. But I know when Eric got that one AK, the barrel actually warped, and all he did was bend it back in place, and he could still shoot it.
Yep.
Crazy.
That was a Russian Vepr.
It was actually, he was shooting it curved, and then he just banged it on the table a bunch of times and got it back into place.
Yeah, that was a Vepr.
PSA AKs have fitment issues. I don't know. Mine is cherry.
I've really come to understand that it honestly like doesn't matter who the manufacturer is. Everyone will have something good and bad to say. Everyone's going to have QC issues. It's just the way it is.
Right.
So take that for what it is. I'm not defending anyone, but I mean, dude, someone will honestly sit you down and say Rifle Dynamics you're going to get a dud. It's just not what it used to be. You're probably not going to get a dud. And people will say that about the top tier AKs all the way down to an $800 Wasser back from the 90s. It's just what it is.
Yeah, that Vesca, I've shot the heck out of that Vesca, and everyone tells me it's going to blow up one day. I'm like, well, so far so good. Now I put the red furniture on it, and I'm just going to turn it into a wall hanger.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have brought it out. I should have brought it out for the event. Let's see. Gort says, your opinion on the Zastava M70 ZPAP.
Best AK for the money available today.
Nice. Eric also says Zastava RPK looked the coolest with the thinned barrel.
Yeah, Zastava, those are called Yugo pattern AKs, Yugoslavian pattern AKs. Zastava is just, one of the countries that was left over when they split up Yugoslavia. So they still make Yugo pattern AKs. They're just Serbian now. Their RPKs and AKs are a little bit different than everyone else on the planet that made AKs. The Yugos did their own thing. So if you set a Yugo RPK next to like a Romanian or a Russian RPK, it looks very different. Ton of differences. Still an RPK, just a lot of differences.
Tau. Most operators use bacon to cool their barrels.
It's been done. Oh yeah, that's you must have not seen his video. That's awesome that he's in your chat. He's had some really awesome videos in the past. He's got this old video where he does heat an AK up and the whole barrel is tightly wound with bacon and it cooks it. And I believe he consumes that bacon.
Yeah, but so here's my thought. I actually, Tao, I'm right on the money with that because I thought, hey, how much more trouble would it be to do aluminum foil, then put the bacon, and then another aluminum foil, just so it doesn't get all nasty and gnarly. I don't know.
Toe Fluttermouse, I'm pretty sure he's the guy that makes all the crazy shotgun shell loads. He's like, today we're going to fill a shell up with gummy bears and we're going to shoot out of shotgun.
Oh, that's this guy? I've heard about this guy.
I believe so. Yes.
Oh, well,
he's had a channel for a long time. It makes good content.
All right, man. So I'm going to have to go check this channel out. That is a crazy name. I love the name too. But I heard about someone that does all kinds of random crazy shotgun shell stuff. I could never remember what the name was.
I believe that be him.
Yep. Nice. Jeff, good afternoon. MZ, what's up? Super Geo, I love shooting the Mahdi.
Mahdi's are cool.
Man, Mahdi's are very cool. But so when do you want to do this class? I mean, you want to set it up for like October, November?
No, nothing in October. November, I have a huge match that I have to go to as well. It would probably, honestly, I would say like January, maybe February if it's not too cold. It would be cool to do it out in the cold where we're not sweating our nuts off the whole time.
It's going to be freaking cold. But that's cool. It'll look more Russian-y.
Yes.
It's funny. When I moved here, I threw out all my jackets, and then it snowed in Houston. I was like, God dang it. Freaking snows here, man. People don't understand. Houston gets really, really cold.
Yeah, it does.
Lucky dogs, we got a celebrity, so it must be him. Nice, man. I always look for really cool content creators to check out. So I'll definitely add him to the list. Let's see. All right, we already answered that question. Loves it. QC is kind of crap. I don't know. Have you ever heard about Zastava QC being an issue?
No. Like I say, dude, you can name any company, insert name here. Someone is going to have something bad to say. I will say, back when Century was importing Zastava, there were issues. There's a lot of reasons why Zastava got away from having Century import their guns. Number one, to bring costs down, but number two, those guns come in that they need to be modified. They come in with single stack. Any rifle, that's just how importation works. Any rifle that's not American made, it's got to come in like as a pistol, or they come in with all these features that have to be like D-band, single stack mag wells. Sometimes they don't have threaded barrels. So Century would have to do that. They still have to do that today with any Romanian gun that comes in. They were doing a bad job with a lot of the older Zastava AKs. So now it is not even close to the same quality that it was back in the day. It is 100 times better. I wouldn't hesitate to buy a Zastava nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at all those rifles at the SHOT Show, and they all looked amazing.
They're awesome.
They look so well built. See, that's another thing. Most people, so when they think of AKs, they think of just an old chewed up gun that's all beat to shit, and it just looks horrible. Man, there is some works of art there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, KUSA's booth was amazing.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, everything is subjective. I know AKs don't look good to some people. It's just not a good looking gun, and I know that matters to me. Let me tell you something. When I see like a 74 with a nice set of plum or like some really blonde wood, oh my God, dude, my pants get tight over that stuff. ARs don't like it would have to be something really special for an AR where I would go, man, it's just a good looking gun. Something about an AK with like the perfect set of wood or plum furniture. If you're talking about a 74 with like a Bakelite mag locked in, just all those colors coming together. There is
Right.
something really, really good looking about that. It gives you the same like when you look at an old M1 Garand or something from World War II, metal and wood. It's got an aesthetic to it that I really appreciate.
Yeah, 100%. It's funny you mentioned that. ARs are nice, but they're not beautiful guns. I don't look at an AR and go, man, that looks great. It's not something
Mm.
that it's not something you could pass down onto your kids. You know what I mean?
That's good. A
Like the
good
Marlin 3030, you could pass that down because it's a gorgeous gun and it looks great. An M1 Garand, love it. A real nice AK. I tell you what, that Sentry AK, since I put the red furniture on it, looks so nice. It's so
better.
classic looking. Um, Heck, I don't care if it does blow up. I'm just gonna hang it on the wall as is. It looks so cool like that.
I mean, there's certain guns that you would grow up, you would see certain guns hanging over people's fireplaces or something, and it ain't an AR-15. It's just not something you would do that with.
Like a
But
1911,
like a
man.
1911, put that sucker on display, a lever
Yeah,
action, a revolver. For some people, a really old milled, like a Type 2 AK from the 50s. That would be hanging from my wall right now on display. It's just a beautiful piece of machinery built by a pair of hands, because that's just how they still do it to this day. AKs, there's a lot of work with a guy with a riveting tool and hands. It's not fully automated. That's another special thing about AKs. It takes that human element to finish one, which is still kind of cool that they're still made that way.
yeah, very cool. CNT Designs has a nice compliment. It says, Clayco, how's you tonight, brother? I have followed you for a long time. I think I found you on Mead
Mm,
Fueled Rants.
yeah, it was a long time ago. Mead Fueled Rants, that is a few friends of mine, Angel of Verdun, The Broken Asian, Anthony. It was a really fun live stream they would do on YouTube. They don't really do it much anymore, but I've been friends with all of them for so long, and that's cool that he watched it back in the day.
Yeah. Who's that Asian cat at your Kalashmish that makes the custom magazines? He etches the magazines.
That would be Jay Wook. He is a very mysterious being.
I bought a ton of those.
Yeah.
I thought they were great, man. I bought like 12.
Do you so did you see any of the Daewoo videos that I made?
Uh-uh.
Those were all his guns. So I made 3 videos. I did the Daewoo K1, K2, and a DR200. Those were all his guns that he let me borrow. He's a super cool dude.
Yeah, he seemed really cool.
He calls them meme mags because he usually etches a meme on them.
All right.
One
These
of
all
his
had
mags
like
right here.
anime.
Yeah, he made this for my birthday. It's a 74 mag with my little logo on it.
Oh man, I need to hit that guy up. I want some mags with my name on it. That'd be sweet. My
Dude,
luck, they would be crap.
great
And they would.
giveaways. Like he can do AR mags. Like when you do your meet and greets at Renaissance, they're super cheap to have made, and they make really cool take homes for everybody.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. JST Hobbies says I'm stocking up on my 7.62 by 39. I've got 2,500 rounds of Tula, 1K of Red Army. Just get as much as you can, guys, because it's flooded the market now. But I mean, it will come in still, but half of it is going to be off the market. Like I'm thinking February, it's going to dry up.
Dude, we were so worried about it. My business partner and I, we took just about everything we made from Kalash Bash last year and bought ammo. We left just enough to the side to pay our FFL fees for the year. We spent all of it on ammo just because we need ammo to do what we do, to do the machine guns and the content. Like we
Yeah.
need it. We spent almost every dime we had just to make sure we were okay for a couple years.
Well, the cool thing too is it's not like it's going to go bad in a year. It'll sit in that crate for 20,
Yep.
30, 40, 50 years, and it's still going to work and go bang every time.
Yep, it'll be fine.
I bought a couple spam cans. I wonder how, I guess it lasts forever in a spam can, right?
That's the stuff you want to, like, if you're going to set some aside and not have to worry about how you store it, that's vacuum sealed. You can store that anywhere and it will last a long time. It's cool that Monarch, which is actually Barnaul ammo from Russia, it's cool that it always came in a spam can.
Oh, yeah. I just dropped 1400 this morning on an M90. I already drooling over the M92. Oh man, get both. Don't be cheap.
My next AK is going to be an M85 from Zastava. Like I have, that is next in line. I want one pretty bad.
What is the M85?
It is so if you're familiar with the M92, that's their little 10-inch, their little short AK pistol that they sell. The M85 is the 5.56 version. It looks kind of like a Krink, but because it's Serbian Yugo pattern, it's got a lot of differences.
Yeah, CNT wants a RPK so bad. Now I do too, man. God damn it.
Just honestly, one of the funnest. Get an RPK with a carry handle. It is just one of the funnest. It's just owning one.
How
Like
long
you
is
get
that
your
thing?
friends
It's
over.
got to
Oh, it's
be.
so cool. Let it sit. Let it sit in your living room on the bipod. Just let
That
it hang
thing's got to
out.
be 60 inches, man. How long is that gun?
Total length, I don't know. The barrels are 23 inches, but I don't know what the overall length is.
It's time to get a new safe.
Yeah, it'll fit in your safe.
Speaking of bacon, where's goddamn bacon tonight? I know, man. I have a subscriber named Goddamn Bacon.
Oh
Is
yeah.
that great screen name? And he's in here all the time. He's not here tonight. It's weird. Dale says he's in for a class. And I'm telling you, buddy, you got a lot of people. I love building AKs. ARs are too easy to build and no challenge. Well, so let me just hold on. I know a lot of people that say they like to build ARs. You mean put them together?
Yeah.
You're not really building an AR. It's like a adult Lego set. Putting
Yeah.
together and bending a when you have to bend it and rivet it, that's more putting together. Building, that's more building.
It
When you
is.
put the rivets in an AK, that's kind of building an AK.
Dude, some people even go a step further and they'll like buy a fully assembled upper and they'll get a lower and they snap it together and they're like, man, I built this last weekend. It's running great. Like that's a complete upper that you bought. What are you talking about? You built? They didn't build that, dude. You slapped the upper on the lower. They're like, well, I mean, it's it's the build. The build really came together the way I wanted to. I'm like, all right. It's I think people say it without thinking about it much. It's just so common to say I'm shooting my build this weekend, but
Yeah.
it is. It is assembling a gun. It's certainly not building.
Chris Bull in the comment says, who would you have convert a Saga Sporter?
So someone asked that earlier. It depends where you live. So if you're in Houston, we gave two really good gunsmiths away earlier, Weapon Genetics and Iron Curtain Customs. There's people all over the country. Gunsmiths I like to use personally are those two. M13 in Las Vegas has been my go-to gunsmith since I've ever had anything gunsmithed. He's awesome. Daniel Fisher, Halcyon Defense, also in Texas, probably one of the premier AK builders in this country. CW Gunworks in Florida probably has the best cash value versus like turnaround time out of anyone right now. So you won't be waiting. Biggest problem right now with any gunsmith is the wait. They're in such high demand. You might get a quote for your conversion for like $300 and they'll be like, I'll call you in 6 months if you're lucky. That would be a short wait time these days. Everyone's backed up like crazy right now.
Wow. Well, that's great too, because you could buy like 3 suppressors for it, and then you'll get your suppressors before you get the gun. You won't be disappointed.
AKs take patience right now. I mean, just like we said earlier, if you want anything done with an AR, you can do it yourself. Swap barrels in your garage. It's easy. When you really want a Gucci AK, you're going to have to let someone with the tooling do it, but you're going to have to get in line between 50 other dudes. That's just the way it is. You have to wait for that kind of stuff, but it's so worth having a really cool, highly tuned AK. But it's just the nature of the beast right now.
I wish I was building guns when Sagas were cheap. You know, it's funny. In California, there was this gun shop that opened up, and I remember when they first started, they had Sagas. The Sagas just hit the market, and they were like $220, $230. Nobody really wanted them. It was just
they wouldn't change anything. They would sell them exactly how they were imported. They wouldn't convert them into carbines, so they look like this terrible, ugly gun.
Yeah, in California, you couldn't convert them.
Yeah, that's true. You had to leave them
So
like that.
you had to leave them just as they came in, and it was just. I remember I could have bought them for like I think they were like $240, $250, and it was like, no one wanted them. They're like, yeah, it's shit. And then they
dude. If I had
they
a
were
time
paying
machine,
thousands of dollars for them.
Oh yeah, right now Saiga Sporters. If you got a 545 Saiga Sporter, someone that really desperately needed it would give you $1,500 for it, maybe more.
Oh wow. Seaman, are arsenals worth keeping? Thinking about selling them?
I don't know why you would sell an Arsenal. They're some of the best AKs to ever come in the country. He should tell us what arsenal he has because they're all just exploding in value. That
Oh
is
man.
a very highly made AK. Tons of
All
quality.
right, Seaman. Let's see the list. So when you did that thing on your channel, the topless, that
Yeah.
was so funny when that girl actually took her top off and blacked it out.
My fiance loved it. She loved that one.
That was the funniest. She's gonna win, right? Whatever that competition is. That was. I fell over laughing
Based
because
on
I thought about it. It'd be great if a girl did it, and then a girl did do it.
based on engagement, she got way more engagement than everybody. So if it were based on that, she would definitely win.
What would be really good is there was some like 500-pound dude and did it too with some big old floppy pancake boobies. That would be funny.
Yeah, you know what's unfortunate? We didn't know this. We called it we like to use we do these challenges every year. We usually do two or three, but we only had time to do this one this year. And with Instagram you use hashtags and it's easy to find people's posts later. So we would have people use hashtag KB topless reload. And then at the end of the week, I would just search the hashtag. I'd find all the entries and start reposting them. But because my dumbass put topless in the hashtag, Instagram's not showing them all to me because that's like a censored hashtag.
I looked for it. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, so I'm missing. I can't find all the entries. But we're so late into it now. We didn't realize that until halfway into it. I'm like, man, I'm not seeing any of these people. And then I found out, oh, any hashtag with the word topless in it is highly censored and it will not come up on a search engine. So unless I'm following the people, I'll never see it. And it's unfortunate, but we learned a lesson there.
Last RPK parts kit I looked at were over $1,000. So you said PSA has some?
Yeah. If they're still in stock, yeah, they had a ton of Romanian parts kits they built up and sold.
God dang it. I swear I gotta. I don't open the PSA emails anymore because it's always something I really want.
Another website to follow is Atlantic Firearms. They usually have a ton of really cool. They're either selling new AKs and they do a lot of parts kits. They'll have a big batch of parts kits that they sell assembled. It's a really cool website to keep an eye on.
Have you seen the review by Polar Tactile on the AK-12?
It is very in vogue right now to say that the AK-12 is a terrible. Not that it's a bad gun, but as far as the Russian military is concerned, it was a very bad upgrade. It was not a wise choice to go from a 74M or the 100 series AKs into an AK-12 because it doesn't really do anything better than a 74 does. But I'm a little.
Was the 74 a shotgun too?
No, it's 5.45. So they call it the AK-12. It's not 12 gauge. They just call it the AK-12.
Oh, okay.
They did they have some interesting choices with the AK-12, like the gas tube that you can't take off, so it's very difficult to clean in that sense. They say they don't hold zero very well. The safety flops around. There's a lot of issues people are having with them. However, Polar Tactical was really the first one to have like an actual review on a real AK-12 because they live in a country where they can go into a gun shop and there's real Russian AK-12s, civilian versions on the shelf.
Yeah.
In this country, the kit had to be illegally imported through crime, which is how the best stuff comes in, especially with AKs. It was usually a blank firing gun that has to be rebuilt with repurposed AK-74 parts. And now people are like, Brandon Herrera's gun is that way. A lot of people's AK-12s were not really AK-12s before. They were blank firing devices or something lesser than that, imported through crime. And now we're building them into real AK-12s with 74 parts. So it's not really apples to apples with the stuff that's here that we have access to. But Polar Tactical had a real one, and they had some flaws with theirs, and they make a lot of good points. I don't think the AK-12 is a bad gun. The point is, why would they? It doesn't really do anything that much better than a 5.45 100 series AK, which they've been using since the early 90s. So why did they even take the time to move to it and add more add a more complicated system to something that was already working? That's what everyone has a problem with right now. But it's a good gun. if you just look at it subjectively as a gun, AK-12 is a great gun. It really is. And we happen to be building one right now.
Nice.
In full auto.
Oh man. Real quick, Jeremy Gray says, do you do any collabs with Brandon Herrera? I met him in passing once. Seemed like a great guy.
Yeah, we had him. We did a big collab with him back in 2019 for Kalash Bash. He helped us promote it. The dude did such a huge favor by talking about KB so much in 19. We sold a ton of tickets. A lot of people wanted to come see him, so that was cool. He came out in 2020, and he made a really good Kalash Bash video. If you search, you'll find Brandon Herrera's 2020 KB video, and he did great. He didn't come out last year. He's probably not coming out this year, but he's a good dude, man. He's done us a lot of favors in the past. Good guy.
Yeah, he seemed like he's being pulled in a lot of directions for sure.
Yeah. At his fame, I mean, everyone wants a piece of that guy right now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? You and I have talked about this before. Being at that level of fame, what life kind of turns into at that point. Doing anything gun related, you're white hot as far as everyone wanting a piece of you while you're there. We could go on and on about that.
Well, I told you I saw him at SHOT Show. It was like Friday or Thursday, and he came out and his face was so like done. He's done because SHOT Show's a long couple days, and there was no one around. I wanted to go introduce myself and say hi, but I was like, I waved. I'll catch you in the next show, man, because he was just like, I didn't want to get out of here. It looked like he had a long couple days, and then I got to meet him at the Gundies real quick. I thought that was really cool. Good dude.
He is a good dude.
Another question. Are you running a K&S piston in your M90?
No. Number one, I don't think they make a piston for it. Number two, it probably wouldn't. I don't think it would work the same way because the M90 has a tunable gas block. So a factory M90 piston is hollow at the end, and it has to be for the gas block to work. So a K&S piston, even if they made one that was the right length, probably would not work.
Chris Bull, oh man, says he has 2 sagas in the box unfired. Yep. Thanks, buddy. Now I feel I missed that train too. Ask the guest what the best muzzle device to mitigate flash on a short barrel AK besides a suppressor.
A booster.
What is a booster?
It's you could Google it one day. It's called like a 4-piece booster. It's the only thing I've ever really seen that would keep a lot of flash down on a short AK. It looks like a little can, just a big fat can that has a cone on the inside, and it does a really good job. It keeps all of your blast forward, but it does a pretty good job at keeping a lot of flash down, which you wouldn't think was that way. Like at a certain point, a short AK, especially by 39, there is so much unburnt powder. There's really no way to kill all the flash. It's almost impossible. But a booster is the best way that I've seen. A 4-piece booster. That's what you would have to search to find one.
Is that like the Whip Machine? Because in the AR world, Whip Machine makes a flash hider that you screw on like this thing that goes over it, and it's called a sound mitigator. It pushes a lot of the sound forward.
Yeah, it kind of does that. It's not like regulated, like it doesn't have a baffle in it. It's basically like a cone. Like you've probably seen I think they call it the pig nose muzzle device for an AR. I'm not sure what it is. It's just a cone. And all that does is divert all the blasts forward instead of a brake that would just blow everyone's eardrums out to your left and right. It's similar to that, but it is literally a 4-piece unit that comes fully assembled. And the way that it's built, it does a really good job of adding a little bit of back pressure to an AK, which short barrels sometimes need a little back pressure, but it throws everything forward. And it's honestly the best way I've ever seen to kill flash, but there's really no way to kill all the flash on a short AK, especially 7.62. There's just way too much unburnt powder.
Looks cool though, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Why would you want to kill the flash?
Desert Tactical says
a can on it. Well,
Klayco, Ziga, Robski, and Brandon vid. That would be something. That would be like the Mount Rushmore of AK geeks, right?
Yeah, I have been trying to get Polinar to Kalash Bash for a long time. We've just been trying to find a way to pay for it. The way Polinar works, they will literally go to anything if you just cover their expenses for travel. If you can just make the trip free, They don't ask for money. They don't want anything. They don't want to get
How many
paid.
people was in that group?
There's
4?
there's 3 people, but they usually bring a fourth guy to film, or they hire someone when they get to the States to film. So it's always like a 4-man crew.
$7,000, pretty easy.
So we wanted to talk to one of our bigger vendors to say, how about if you could take all the credit for bringing Polnar in, if you pay their expenses to come to Kalash Bash, we'll just make sure they do a lot of spots at your booth, but they need to give free reign to go wander the event. And we didn't. It just, with everything being so busy, it's probably not going to happen this year, but it will. We talked at the Gundies about it for an hour, and I thought we were going to pull it off, but just couldn't pull it off this year.
Yeah, they were a SHOT Show too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw them. They seemed like cool guys.
They're awesome.
They were very energetic.
I took a class with them. They had an AK class like 3 years ago, and that's the first time I met them was through that class. They did it in Dallas.
Let's see what else. All right, man. Well, real quick, guys, I'm gonna put a link to Sneaky Snake 00. What is that name, Sneaky Snake? What is the deal with that?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I forget. That's what my YouTube channel was originally. I mean, I've had this channel since like probably 2009 or something, back when I would just leave comments. And back then, I was much younger. There was a viral video where this guy was like, "I'm a sneaky snake." It's a viral video from the mid 2000s, and I was like, "That's a good name, dude." Even my practice score name when I shoot matches is Sneaky Snake. So they're always like, "Clay Sneaky Snake Owens, you're up." I'm like, "Oh God, I got to change that one day," because it's been that way for so long.
That's so funny.
That's all it was. You can change the name of your YouTube, but like if you like have a link, it always embeds the original name that you named your channel from birth.
Really?
So even though it's Klayco47, my link still says Sneaky Snake on it because that's how the channel was born.
I miss those old viral videos when they were few and far between, like the Honey Badger one.
Yeah. Remember E-Bomb's World back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the good stuff. All right, guys. I'm going to put a link to Sneaky Snake, Klayco47. Please like, subscribe, share his content. And if you're in Houston, Texas, or if you're in Texas in general, or just want to come to a really cool event, that Kalash Bash, I tell you, man, I can't wait. So as let's just talk about that real quick. Kalash Bash, I'm not shooting. I just want to go hang out. I mean, what can I expect?
Your day would start going through our check-in booth. You would get your credentials, a lanyard, a bracelet, all that. The first thing you do when you come around the corner, you see what we call our silver bay, where all of our machine guns are. You're going to have 8 to 9 vendors in this massive bay with 3 different berms. It's basically almost 360 degrees of shooting. You walk in and you are just surrounded by tables with Palmetto State Armory, Lee Armory, Foxtrot, Mike, just too many vendors to even remember right now. Shoot all their guns, shoot all their ammo, all their guns. They're going to be giving stuff away, so much stuff. When you're done in that area, we have 5 different bays with multiple gold vendors. This is when you start getting into IWIs, the KUSAs, the Sentries, the Primary Arms, some of the really big companies. Shoot all their stuff as much as you possibly can. Then we have 2 humongous tents with probably 30 different vendors that are not on live fire bays, that are all there selling stuff. RS Regulate, Krebs Custom, KNS Precision, Kalash Wood, surplus dealers. I mean, we're going to have ammo dealers. This is basically, we call it the vendor bazaar. It's like being in Turkey and going to a Turkish bazaar. It's just table after table after table selling AK stuff, everything from surplus. You can buy your lower handguard that has Mariana carved in the side, all the way from an optic on some other booth, some brand new stuff. And you also are able to go watch some of the stages being shot for the competition. You get to see all the costumes, all the guns people are bringing. And if you do camp, at the end of each day, Friday and Saturday, you get to go to the campsite. We allow drinking once all of the guns are put away. We have a massive DJ booth with laser lights. One of the biggest bonfires you've ever seen. We have night vision on display, thermal on display at the campsite, a big party. And there's also food served at night. And then you get to wake up and do it all over again on Sunday. The best part about Kalash Bash is regardless of the ticket that you buy, Sunday we give away $70,000 worth of stuff. We're giving away 50 caliber guns, AKs, more AKs than I can even think of naming right now. Optics. We're probably going to have over 100 suppressors we're giving away. One vendor is giving away 60 suppressors this year. One vendor, totally free of charge.
How do you get entered in that stuff? Through your ticket?
Your ticket, you're entered. You're entered right now. Buy the ticket, you're entered. You're entered. So all you got to do is you just stick around for the award, and the award ceremony is awesome. We have people up there getting their head shaved to win stuff. We had a guy get his eyebrows shaved off to win stuff. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what you should do. Whoever shave your head, just raise your hand. Like, sit down. We do all that stuff. We give massive prizes to the best costume that shows up. I'm talking.
You know what'd be a good one?
Yeah.
Whack somebody's arm hair off.
Oh, dude, we've gone.
Bro.
We have literally shaved a dude's head and eyebrows for him to win a Russian Makarov, a pistol to take home that day.
You know how much that would hurt? Because there's some hairy suckers at that event.
It would hurt. And if you're Texas based, we'll be doing 4473s on site. If you live in Texas and you win a gun, we'll do the background check right there. You can leave with that gun that day. Any NFA items that we give away, like suppressors, transfer it anywhere you want. We pay for the shipping, send it anywhere you want, and it can wait at a gun shop near you. If you don't live in Texas and you win a gun and it's legal for you to have that gun, we will ship it free of charge anywhere so you can pick it up when you get home. 70 grand worth of guns, ammo, optics, and accessories. You buy a ticket, you win. You'll win something. I promise you. There's that much stuff.
Oh my God. I'm sold. And let's not forget about the food. What kind of food are we talking about here?
We got gourmet barbecue, one of my buddies. If the people that we have booked last year still show up, we still have a couple people that we really, really would like to get out there. Gourmet taco truck, which is one of my all-time favorites. Gourmet burgers. Awesome. I'm really excited about my buddy's gourmet barbecue truck. This guy goes around winning cooking competitions all over Houston, all over Texas. He got his license just to come to Kalash Bash and serve food. And he's going to be serving food at the campsite late at night. So if you get the munchies when you're drinking, you'll be able to eat at the campsite. We're trying to have this really cool, do you remember at the Gundy's, the guy that made that massive pizza?
Yeah, I didn't get a slice.
Yeah, we're trying to get him to come out, but he's not local, so it might be difficult. But we also want to get an Asian truck in that sits there with this massive wok and just a stir-fry rice all day. The food options are very eclectic, very different from one another. And we're also going to have Capri Sun Sunday, where all the coolers are filled with water and Capri Suns. Probably the best thing about Kalash Bash this year. You get all the Capri Sun you can drink.
That sounds awesome. There's a bunch of food trucks I love in Houston, man. I don't know if they'd travel out, but they are very good. There's one called Soulside Wings. It's a Korean taco hot wing kind of fusion. I go all the way across town to eat her hot wings. It's so good, man.
Someone asked a really good question that we should probably answer. Can they buy a ticket and win something if they're not there? You got to be there. So if you buy a ticket, show up. Like literally when we do the random giveaway, I mean, you got to figure hundreds of people are hanging out Sunday night. If I call a number to come up and win your brand new Zastava M70 with mags and you're not there,
it's a riot.
Next ticket. I want someone there, right there, to walk up and take their gun from me from the prize table. It is worth staying. We start the prize ceremony like at 3 or 4 o'clock on Sunday. It's not that late. We try to have everyone out of there while the sun's still up. Sometimes it runs a little late, but we do, know people have somewhere to be Sunday night. So you should go. If you want to win something, you got to be there.
AJ in the chat says he got engaged at Kalash Bash last year.
It's in the video. If you watch the Kalash Bash video, if you go to my page and go to my homepage, it's literally the video that automatically plays. AJ proposed to his wife right there in front of everyone, in front of hundreds of people at the prize table. It was like there not many dry eyes. Like it was the crowd pop, the noise that came out of that place when this dude proposed in front of everyone was awesome. We had the whole thing set up like months in advance. It was really cool how we did it. We blindfolded her. We told her, "Oh, you're gonna feel an AK, and if you could tell us what kind of AK it is, you win it." And we're like bringing him up to her. I don't want to spoil it. It's worth seeing.
Oh, I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it.
Worth seeing it. I
love stuff like that,
cool.
man. It's so cool. But I bought a ticket today. I might buy a couple more tickets and take some subscribers with me just
Yeah.
because. Just because I think it'd be cool. Hang out with some friends.
I know camping's not for everyone, but I'm telling you, if you want to stay late, you can leave at any time. You can
I think the
say,
camping's all sold out, right?
I believe there are a few more passes last time I looked.
Because I thought the only thing was the day pass. I just bought a day pass, the 2 day pass.
Did you? I'll tell you right now if they're sold out.
Because
We still have
camping doesn't have to be that hard. Just sleep. You park your car and sleep in your car. You just pass out in your car. You'll be all right.
camping passes still available. There's probably less than 20, but they're still available.
I could just park my truck and pop it. I have one of those truck tents.
Yeah.
You seen those that fit in the flatbed of the truck?
Yep. We have an area in the back. We have a lot of dudes that bring like forerunners and Jeeps, like a lot of these guys that do like hardcore overlanding. We have an area towards the back of the campsite where all the overlanding guys set up and they camp out of their vehicles. There's like there's a community of them towards the back of the campsite.
I might have to give away my ticket and buy a camping. Because the camping one is the ticket plus camping, or is it an add-on?
It's an add-on. So you would need general admission and then also buy the camping pass.
Okay, never mind.
So don't just buy the camping pass. You have to have general admission to start, and then you can add camping on.
I have a question. Have you ever been to the Renaissance Fair camping?
Oh, dude, it's so funny that you said that.
How does that compare?
That's why we have camping at Kalash Bash. I've been camping at the Renaissance since 2007. After we did our first Kalash Bash, I told my business partner, dude, we have to do Renaissance style camping at Kalash Bash. The whole reason I even go to the Renaissance Fair is because the camping is so awesome. I would totally skip the Ren Fair just to camp. That's what we based our camping experience off of. You know, if you've camped at the Ren Fair, everyone's roaming from camp to camp. Everyone's partying. Everyone's
gets a little
together.
A little crazy.
It gets a little crazy. It's not that crazy because you have to remember this is a gun event. The most vetted group of people you could ever hope to be around go to gun events. Everyone there should be allowed to own a gun. That means everyone there is a non-felon. So it stays very civil at the campsite.
You can't say that about Ren Fair.
Can't say that about Ren Fair at all. If anything, it's probably the complete opposite.
Yeah.
But the style of Ren Fair where it's like, yo, wherever you see a spot, pitch a tent. It's a total freestyle. We control parking, but as far as tents go, we kind of naturally let that flow and let people.
So RV parking.
RV passes are sold out. We have 20 spaces with power and water hookups, but they're all sold. So we don't have any more of those available. Remember, these tickets have been on sale like 3 months at this point. So a lot of the tickets are gone.
So what if I have my truck with the tent in the back? Can I park that somewhere?
Yep.
Perfect.
So what we do is at our camp, the campsite's massive. We let all of the actual, like the tent city, we keep that in the center. Anyone that's camping out of vehicles or just needs to park, we keep all the parking slightly separated from tents just because in the offshoot that a guy that has his truck and right in the middle of the campsite decides, you know what, I'm going to leave in the middle of the night. He's not driving through tents. So we do keep a little bit of a separation between tents and parking. You're literally walking distance to your vehicle. We just try to keep the vehicles on one side and all the tents on the other side.
That's probably pretty smart.
Yes.
You don't want a bunch of drunk guys driving through tents. No bueno.
Drinking at night is totally allowed. And with that, you do have a little bit of liability. So, obviously, there are absolutely no guns allowed at the campsite whatsoever in sight. Like anyone who is seen with one will not so politely be asked to leave because we do want a safe environment where people can let their hair down and drink. And a majority of the vendors all hang out at the campsite. You could be hanging out with Dead Air Silencers, Sentry, PSA, all these guys. They're all kicking it at the campsite until we turn the lights off. It's like a SHOT Show after party.
What time the lights get turned off?
I believe at midnight we have big light poles that kind of light up the whole campsite and the big bonfire. Around midnight we start slowly turning them off one at a time, kind of hinting at everyone, hey, it's time to shut her down.
And there's food there at night, right? Too.
We will have a food truck out there. Not 4 or 5, because you're going from 1,000 people during the day to we only have about 300 people camping, and most people are cooking for themselves at their campsite. We have one food truck out there just in case someone wasn't prepared to cook at their campsite. We will have food available.
I'm sold, man.
And remember, we have showers at the campsite, climate controlled showers and bathrooms at the campsite. It's all
I
included.
could totally just sleep in my little
Yeah.
tent truck deal.
You could go take a poop and not in a porta potty, in a climate controlled bathroom with music playing in the background, and take a shower that's totally private. There's no chance of anyone walking in on you. You can lock the door behind you. These are the big shower trailers that they bring out to events that are cleaned like 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
It is a total Gucci experience that you're getting for $100.
Camp Kalash Bash.
Yes, there's
Oh,
tickets available. Yeah.
there is some tickets available.
Trust me,
Shit.
dude. When you camp at KB once, you'll go, "Why didn't I do this the year before?" Like literally, it's probably one of my favorite parts of the event as a whole. The campsite is awesome. We put so much effort into making the campsite fun. It's worth the $100, and the $100 gets you there Friday and Saturday night. I don't know what a hotel costs for 2 or 3 nights, but we charge $100. You get showers, bathrooms, a party, entertainment, all your friends, and 2 nights.
So Friday night too, there's a party. Or is that just Saturday night?
The party that we put on is Saturday night, but Friday, the campers kind of do their own thing, and it's pretty much a party both nights. Saturdays when we bring out the DJ and we have the vendors set up at night and we have the food. Friday, you're allowed to come out. The whole campsite's full Friday anyway. That's a time where we're not out there bugging anyone. All the campers are mingling, doing their own thing. Saturday, we kind of take over, and that's when the lights and the music and the fire and everything really jumps off on Saturday night.
I'm sold. All right, cool.
Yeah, AJ knows. AJ knows. He took a shower. He knows.
I'm gonna be camping out, man. I think that's the way to go. Plus, I think it's about an hour and a half from my house to get there anyway. Why drive back and forth 2 days?
Yeah, and Eagle Lake is not really. Eagle Lake's kind of close to like Sealy and Columbus. That's where all the hotels are. It's either 20 minutes that way or 20 minutes this way. That's where all the hotels are. So you're saving yourself a 40-minute round trip, and it's way cheaper than the hotel. And depending on how you set up your campsite, you have the shower, you have the bathroom, and you have food available. And there's so much to do. So I would be crazy not to just camp, not have to leave and come back and have to get there early the next morning so I didn't miss anything. We have shuttle buses that will come pick you up from the campsite and take you and dump you in front of all the vendors. And that bus runs all day. All day. And the bus is awesome. We have a short bus for all you special people. It's got cup holders. It is. We have the short bus. It's got cup holders, gun racks. It helps people get from stage to stage that are shooting the match. It can pick up like 30, 40 people at a time from the campsite. It is a very short walk from the campsite to the venue, but those that don't want to walk, hang out by the bus stop. It'll pick you up and drive you right down the road.
I'm sold. I'm going to camp out. Sick Venom poster. That's not the poster.
It's a comic book cover.
It's a cover. I'm kind of a comic book geek.
Yeah, I know. You told me.
Anyway, I have that same comic book though too. I don't know. I thought I had it. I had to put up my Baroness one. I love that. That's one of my favorite covers of all time. But hey, Clay, thank you for coming on. Everyone in the chat, I put a link to Klayco's channel. Please click, like, subscribe to his channel. If you're not a subscriber of 9, please consider subscribing to mine. I greatly appreciate it. Kalash Bash sounds so much fun. And that's great because I have back-to-back-to-back events. And I think I got a little silent portable generator. I think that could be just a real fun night just to kind of hang out.
Oh, dude, you would love it. And we keep the party very separate from where everyone's sleeping. Like we have a dividing line. On this side of the line, there's no tents. That's where the DJ and the fire is. All of the tents are a short walk away. So if you're not into the loud craziness, in our tent area, everyone's kicking it by their fires. Everyone's sitting in chairs, drinking, cooking. Very quiet, very secluded. You don't have to be partying where everyone's partying. We do keep.
Well, since I'm camping out in my truck and I have the little camper, where will I be at compared to all that stuff?
If you're going to be camping out of your vehicle It's kind of broken up into sections. The very back of the campsite near the long range, that's where all like the overlander guys set up that have the really elaborate tents built into their vehicles. Towards the center, those are all straight up tents. All of those people basically park all along the road, and then we have a larger parking lot just for overflow of vehicles. So you have a nice big clean area just for tents. Towards the back are the overlanding vehicle areas, and then we have another section where no one's allowed to build a tent because that's where the DJ and the fire and the vendors set up. And it's just 3 big sections like that. You can literally
video. Is that in your video too?
Yeah. Everyone that hasn't seen the video, watch the video. Everything I've just explained to you, you can see in our video. It's on my page. Just go check it out.
I mean, I wouldn't want like a special cone or special parking spot or anything, but just saying.
And I hear rumor, if anyone's never met one, we will have real boomers at Clash Bash you can take pictures with and listen to old war stories. We actually have real boomers that come to Clash Bash. Some of you have never met one, but we have them. All age groups show up.
Now, that is awesome.
Yes.
Back in NAM.
We had a guy with a sign that says, "Take a picture with a real boomer." And he was walking around the whole time, and like, just people are cheesing with him. The group, awesome. All age groups, races, colors, creeds, everything. Our website alone, everyone on that picture is so different from one another. It's extremely eclectic. Like, this isn't just a hobby for a bunch of rich white dudes. We have a little bit of everything showing up and everyone showing up. And it's such a cool thing that it brings all these different types of people together and age groups.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. So when I went to that Kalashmas, I remember walking through that crowd going, what the fuck? Where am I at, man? These people are nuts. But I loved it, man. After talking to a bunch of those guys, that one long-haired guy told me how much my Vesca sucked ass. Very frank.
Zach, that would be Zach.
Yeah, yep. Zach. He goes, I put that shit, I throw it in the trash before it blew up in my face. I was like, yeah, tell me how you really feel.
He's passionate about the way he feels for sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm positive he'll be there, right?
Absolutely.
Nice. Well, man, Clay, thank you so much for coming on. I really, really, really appreciate it. Guys, please, here, I'm going to put a link to their website. Put a link to the website. Check them out. I can't wait. I'm really excited to camp out now. You got me. For one, I can get away from the house and the kids and the wife.
Oh, dude, you gotta. And like I say, you can leave at any time. If it's midnight and you're like, this ain't for me, you can leave through the gate. We do keep people from coming back in the gate. I want to say it's at like 1 a.m. Once you're in there, you can leave at any time for emergencies, but we don't let any traffic back in past like 1 a.m. just to keep people from like letting people that didn't pay or who knows who could get in. It is a gated event. So, but there's an exit button. You can leave at any time. So if you're not feeling it, you can bail at any time.
Do I have to wear a tracksuit to go to Clash Bash?
Absolutely. I won't let you in if you don't.
Make sure you cut holes in the butt cheeks, though. You get extra points for that.
If you don't show up looking like a Russian debt collector, you don't get to come
in. Nice. Gear Know-How. Thank you for sitting. Thank you guys so much in the chat. Clay, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Clash Bash, folks. You don't want to miss this. I can't wait. Because $70,000 worth of prizes. I might win something, man. I'm pretty excited just for the prize booth. I'm excited for the food, the camping.
What's not to like? We had a guy win an $1,800 Galil in a foot race.
Well, I'm not doing no foot race.
There's just, some of these vendors get really, and I know we're going long, I'll keep it short. IWI, we were at their booth, and he says, you know what, Clay? We've given you a ton of guns for the prize table. I want to donate one more right here, right now. Let's figure out how to give it away. So we literally pulled 2 dudes out of the crowd that thought they were fast, literally had a foot race, and the winner brought home a brand new Galil that day, and he shoots it all the time. That stuff pops up all the time throughout the weekend. You don't just have to wait until Sunday to win stuff. Stuff's being given away all weekend long, but the bulk of it is given away Sunday evening. So I'll leave it at that, man. I really appreciate you having me on, and
I'm sold.
Talk to your audience.
Hands down, I'm sold. Thank you guys in the chat. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.